I honestly, because of 2 visits at Knox I had as a prospect, and just the way that high school was is my senior year, like, I wasn't really nervous about coming to Knox or coming to college. I felt ready.
Even though I'm not very far from home, I was still worried about being an hour and a half from home because I'm so close to my family. So I think that was the biggest thing. But also, I was worried that I wouldn't be prepared because I went to high school that kind of sucked. So I didn't feel like I'd been prepared, and I didn't really know what to expect.
I wanted to get away from my high school and away from my friends in high school and just like have a new experience, but I was also terrified that I was going to have any friends.
Actually, freshman year, I had a really hard time, like, just being here. I felt, pretty alone and, like, extremely anxious about getting everything done on time.
My biggest fears about college was dropping out. I was really afraid that I would be one of those people that would come back and just not have anything to show for all the hard work.
In the beginning, I was not as confident because I did go through a phase where I'm like, I'm not sure if this was the right decision to go to Knox. Wasn't sure of my major, wasn't sure about friends. There was just a lot of things I was unsure about, so I lost my confidence.
No, that first day of that intro 110 course was just like, man, but I don't know. It was intense, but I mean, it was a good way to kick it off and realize like high school is done and like it's time to college.
I know it's stressful on my parents coming here and it being kind of a financial burden, but they know that this is one of the best places that I could go for the degree I want to pursue after Knox. So we get through it, but it is hard. But I'm glad that there is the TRIO program to help me through so much.
Well, I didn't really know what it was when I first started. It was sort of, they hand you the folder and like you're like, okay, sure, I'll be a part of whatever.
So what it means to be a part of TRIO is to be part of like a family of people who are all really scared that we're gonna fail, even though we're all, brilliant and well-minded human beings. There's just like this fear because a lot of us are low-income students or first-generation students or people of color, and a lot of our thought processes is like, oh, I'm not sure if I belong here. And so being part of TRIO essentially solidified that for me, that I do belong here.
Because even though my family is really supportive, they also don't know a lot about the process. So TRIO has been a place to come to get some guidance on that kind of thing.
It's given me support when I needed it, and just coming in and talking to Stephanie and getting help with things, getting everything planned out, and trying not to stress too much about things.
I really don't know without the support, both students and administrators in the group. Without their support, if I'd still be at Knox, if I would be able to have gotten through my initial troubles as a first-year student.
The fact that I could come and meet with Stephanie or you and feel comfortable enough to share what I'm really feeling and the concerns that I have and know that that'll be safe.
I don't even know how to describe what being a part of TRIO meant to me because I don't think I would have been able to survive without it. Like my first year, I was in TRIO, but I didn't really get that involved because I was just like, do I really want to be at Knox? Is this really the place for me? Like TRIO has pushed me to try different things, even if I didn't like it. Like they push me and they support me along the way.
On my first year of college, first day of winter term actually, I got a call saying that I was diagnosed with lupus, which is an autoimmune disease. It started attacking my kidneys, and my parents were worried that I would get sicker, and they didn't actually want me to finish my first year. They actually wanted me to go back home. And one of the first people I actually told was Paul. He also had someone who was sick in his life, and he told me about that, and that kind of actually gave me a feeling of comfort. So I ended up staying, and I would definitely say that it was the best decision, because if I went back home, I don't think I would have returned back to Knox.
I remember fall term coming into the school year where my godson his mother had overdosed the weekend that school started. His stepfather, we could say, overdosing 2 months prior. And I remember that, dealing with that at the beginning of the term, having traffic tickets in Cook County and Peoria County. My car not starting, my phone being lost, or stolen rather, and like really on the track of failing a class. And I remember you, Risa, when I came down that last weekend of October and told you that I have to call the court and I have no way to get out there back home, and that was the plan. And I don't know, it's like I didn't know what to do about anything. And just the fact that you let me use your phone to call the courts. I think you guys do way more than just like lend out laptops and give us free printing. You guys have just done more than, you guys are giving me that basis. Like what TRIO does has given me that basis to say, okay, well, I can do my work. But there have been those moments where it's like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, how much software is on that laptop, or if I can print out 1,000 pages. Like, there are some things, like, it's real. And I can't ask anybody to help me with these things because this is just something that I don't think people can deal with. And in that moment, in like that term, especially in that day, it was just real for me, like how you guys help us.
Other people in this country, my family has experienced a lot of hardships in the past 6 years or so. We went from living very comfortably to, the opposite of that. Being aware of what was happening at home and being aware of my family situation just inspired me to push through and really succeed, so that when I leave here, I am prepared to go into the world and create a better life for me and for my family, and just do the best that I can.
Sometimes it's put a lot of pressure on me because, like, my family's really proud, and that's wonderful, but maybe they don't realize that when everyone, like your whole family, says they're proud of you, that's a lot of pressure, because what if you screw up?
I feel that failure allows you to see that you can't do everything, and then to seek out those opportunities and those kind of resources that you need to take that failure and say, I want to learn, and push forward to that success.
I feel like with first generation college students, we're more grounded to reality, because our whole lives we've grown up with, that sometimes things don't come easy, that you really have to work hard for what it is you want. And I feel like the other aspect of that is the constant questioning of yourself, because you have never seen anybody do it before you. You always question, can you do it for yourself?
In high school, if you would have told me that, in the beginning of high school, you would have told me you're going to go to college, you're going to graduate from college, you're going to go to college with a full-ride scholarship, I would have never believed it. I had no plans of coming to college because I have 2 older brothers, but I'm the first to graduate from high school, so that was my only goal. So just making it here and being able to graduate.
I mean, I've always been a pretty smart kid, and I think college has always been on my horizon, but I just never really pictured it until I was here. Like, this is happening. I have to get through this.
College graduate means opportunities. I'm going to be a teacher, or I'm going to be a social worker, whatever my path holds. I know that I'm going to do great things because I went to Knox and that I was in TRIO.
I see it as you have a degree from a liberal arts institution. And that means that you have a better understanding of the world, that you've interacted with people who come from very different backgrounds than you have.
It would mean that I have overcome a system that has told me that I will fail.
For me, graduating college means I'll have a lot of opportunities that my parents never had. When I was growing up, they never limited me at all. They always said that you can do whatever you want to do. And luckily, I believed them.
To be honest, I'm so nervous and I'm scared, and it's just like a lot of what if. I mean, what if you don't get hired? What if you don't find a job? What if you move back home? It's just there's so much up in the air right now. I just don't know how you're supposed to just keep a level mind and just like go into things clear-headed, just ready to make the right choices, because it's scary.
I'm proud of getting into Knox and being as successful as I can be here, and being a good influence on my sisters.
I hope it means a lot to like my cousins too, that kind of look up to me, and I hope that they do the same thing, which I'm sure they will, but I hope it provides a good example for them, a good, I guess, role model for them, someone to look up to and to want to do the same thing.
I was proud of the turnaround I made. Again, I wasn't, at least my first 2 terms here, they weren't the greatest academically, socially, in really any sense of the word. And that summer, I knew I had to do better. I knew I had to really devote myself to my coursework, and I turned around the grades, and I think I've been a better person through helping with tutoring and the CTL and with TRIO, and just trying to become a more well-rounded person, someone my parents would hopefully be proud of.
It's exciting that this chapter is closing on such a beautiful note and opening the doors to a new one.
I would like to say thank you to TRIO and to Knox for shaping me into helping to shape me into the person that I am today, and I'm proud of that. So I love you all.